Good morning, good morning. Well, I have something to share with you which might bring some kind of light or shed some light, or it might sound like utter nonsense. Take it or leave it. So last night I was getting ready for bed and I'd been pondering on a lot of things for most of the evening. The things that I had been shown in the day and yesterday's video. If you didn't see it, you know, the vision of how the masculine and the feminine energy kind of need to fuse within us in order for us to be whole and complete. And then it went a little further. So this is what I saw, and I'm going to have to use pen to paper because words fail me. So what I saw was myself. And let's just say this was me at birth. Here I am, this little tiny dot, okay? And this tiny dot was born into a family. And this became my experience in this circle of family, mum, dad, 2 brothers, okay? And then what happens? I had to crack out of this like an egg, a chick coming out of an egg. I had to break out of that. That broke, that circle broke. Not in a negative sense, but I grew. And then what happened? I was propelled into adulthood. And, you know, my social life, my college life, my friends, circle of social companions that I learnt lots of lessons with on the way, perhaps losing people that I loved died, disappeared from my reality. And then from here, that had to break, and I was propelled into a new reality of meeting my husband, getting married, having 3 children, experiencing a lot of lessons and not necessarily pleasant situations, but lessons nonetheless. And then I reached here. I say he as if he is this, it was his control. The universe released me from that marriage, from that circle, into this circle where I started to discover and have downloads and wake-ups of who I am. Who am I? Questions came into this circle. Who am I? What's going on? Spiritual experiences. Less density of social, what's the word? I was becoming less reliant on what I saw and felt around me. I was going within to discover the answers to these questions that I had. Who am I? What am I doing here? What's going on in my heart? What's my heart calling me to? From there, I feel I've burst into another circle where those questions and those desires have taken me here to meet spiritual, like-minded folk. I'm now surrounded by a collective of other spiritual seekers, of light workers, of people who are on a journey of questioning. Here is this circle. Then last night, I journeyed out from this reality, and I saw myself and my masculine and feminine energy complete, and consciously I floated and was being propelled in a slow but peaceful fashion up into the universe as a sphere of consciousness. I was aware, I was just not in control, being drawn somewhere into the universe. And then I saw before me many other circles, exactly the same shape and size, and they were all pink and blue. I don't know if that represents the male and female, but I was being propelled towards what I can call is a cluster of other cells or conscious blobs. And we were I was being called towards it. And I knew where I belonged in this. I knew exactly where I was going. I didn't need to think it. I was just moving involuntarily towards this place. Then as I landed in my perfect place, let's put an X on it because just to show where it is. I landed peacefully on this collection of other circles, spheres of consciousness, and I landed. As I panned out, I saw that I was a part of. That's not the shape, but let's just say I was a part of a huge body. I became a part of a huge body that was made, I'm not going to colour them all in, of all these circles, all these cells. And it created, just for effect, created this huge being within the universe. Okay? And I was a small part of it. Yeah? But we created this huge figure of a man or a human, not human, but as we would, the shape of it, it's the shape of a human body. Okay? But it was literally created by all these organisms. And then this little curious me wanted to look for some reason within these eyes. I wanted to know what is in there. They say windows are the eyes are the windows to the soul. I wanted to know what was in this body, in this universe. What was I a part of? And what's the depth behind this? What am I experiencing? So I traveled up here. And I was tiny, and I stood by these eyes, which were literally just holes. They were hollow. And I stood here, and I held onto the eyelid of this being, and I peered in, and it was completely hollow. It was just a hollow casing made up of all these other beings from this experience. And as I looked into the eyes, I felt this strange, then what am I a part of? Where is the soul to this that I am a part of? And I felt quite empty and quite sad and lost. And then I heard a voice outside of me say, the soul is within. And I felt myself have to look within me. And as I looked within me, I became this body looking outward now. And I was inside it, feeling all the feelings that I feel, all the questions. I was me. And I was conscious that I was this being. And the only real part of it was my consciousness, my soul looking out. And it felt very strange because I realized that there was no separation between me and it. And the thing that connected us was my consciousness. And then again, I had this wave of, so if that's me and I am it, and what is within is me, then where's everybody else? Where's everybody else? Is it just me? And then I heard the voice, it's not good for man to be alone. And I started to see the other parts of me as other things. It's very difficult to explain. They became separate from me so I could experience them in a relational, connective fashion. So I had to separate myself and lose the sense of I am in order to experience what it's like to connect with all of me, to feel whole, to have experienced every ounce of my entire being. And then I saw the Big Bang, the original Big Bang in the Bible, and I went back to the beginning of time, it felt like, and all of these molecules, this is where it began, a wholeness. It exploded, and all of these circles were shot out into the universe, into space. Some became stars. They experienced what it's like to be a star. Some parts of this became animals. They experienced what it's like to be an animal kingdom. Some parts of this experienced what it's like to live before Christ. Some parts of this experienced persecution and pain and suffering, to know what it felt like. Some parts of this wanted to experience pure bliss and joy and love, and they experienced it on earth. Some parts of this wanted to experience what it was like to be a mother, to hold another child in her hands. Some parts of this wanted to know what it felt like to grieve, to really have the intensity of loss. Some parts of me wanted to experience everything. I wanted to experience everything. And the only way that could happen, everything at once in one time, was to separate into 100 million molecules of myself and experience and come to earth and have multiple experiences. And then I saw a great return, like a magnet with iron filings drawing everything back. And then I was told, that's what's happening. Everything is being drawn back to wholeness, to completion, and the journeys that everyone pop through in their 3D reality have propelled you through the experience that you, as this one molecule, chose to experience. And then as I came back to myself in full circle, beginning and end, I said, well, what's the point? What's the point? Just to experience. And we are one thing, experiencing as many incarnations, as many experiences as possible, and then we're coming back. Coming back for what? I didn't really have the answer to that. But what I did have the answer to was this voice, or me, or it's so, there was no separating what's me, what's it, what's us, what's you, what's them. This voice said, well, okay, if you know that, then you have a choice. What do you want to experience in life? Because I thought, well, what's the point? Because I actually want to, I do. I have this desire to create. I have this desire to experience. So what do I want to experience? And that's where intention comes in. And I wrote down what I want to experience in this life. And then I was sent back. And I was told, there's just a great remembering and a great return to who we really are. And in knowing that all of these molecules are a part of you, then you will react differently to them. And we have a knock-on effect in the relations of how we create down here. But you're not going to go around trying to convince everyone of this, because they've chosen to experience a different path. But someone that has chosen the same experience as you're going to bump into, and you're going to trigger each other, and you're going to fire each other off. That's what soul connection is, a familiarity. We chose the same experience. We chose to experience similar things. And we're helping each other, sparks. We might have been next to each other. We chose the same experiences. And a great remembering, a great awakening to know that we are more than we think. I can't really quite comprehend how that translates. But what it did make me feel is free. I feel free, because now I can drop off anything that doesn't, I don't want to learn that. Not that I don't want to learn it in an arrogant way. That's not what I came here. I'm not putting energy into that. I'm not putting energy into things that make me feel bad anymore. I'm not putting energy into things that don't resonate with me. because now I know I have permission to do that. I have permission to say yes and no, flick, flick, flick. That's not what I want to achieve. That's not what I want to feel in life. And the most important thing for me that came through was to feel love, was to feel the absolute amazing implications of being able to hold someone, being able to dance, being able to create, being able to do art. These are the most rewarding and blissful experiences that we have, and so therefore all the heaviness gets taken away once you realize that you can choose what you can experience whilst you're here, because you are actually just trying to experience yourself. And if you go with the desires of your heart, they will come, because that you are in control. You are in control. That's what manifestation is. And it's like I've had a light bulb moment, and now I want to see if that can translate through life in the way that I just feel free to do what I want to do, and love and embrace and connect, and just to really embody what it feels like to be human, and to know that I am divine in skin, and so are you. What do you want? Go get it. Go experience it. Say no to anything that doesn't feel like it. Tunnel your vision. I love you.